So let's kick things off with a quote that's, well, it's a little unnerving, to be honest. Researchers at Princeton found that AI models are a lot like people. They respond to incentives. And right now, their number one job is to make us happy. But here's the catch. That people-pleasing instinct can come at the cost of the actual truth. It's a really powerful idea to keep in the back of your mind as we jump into this week's tech news.
Welcome to AI's Reality Check. Today, we're going to connect the dots between some of the biggest stories happening right now, from these incredible new AI powers to the really complex choices they're forcing all of us to make.
All right, here's the game plan. First up, we're going to talk about the absolutely breakneck speed of AI development. Then, we'll get into the compromises we're all making for this new tech. After that, we'll look at how it's shaking up the actual devices we use every day. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with some quick, useful tips.
Okay, let's just dive right in. The first big theme this week is just how fast AI is moving. I mean, it's shifting from being this fun little chatbot to a serious, heavy-hitting tool for business. And the amount of money pouring in is, well, it's staggering.
AI is becoming a real partner in our work. Take Anthropic's Claude, for example. It can now build entire documents for you. We're not just talking about getting some text you have to copy and paste. No, you can literally ask it for a complete Excel spreadsheet with working formulas or a whole PowerPoint deck, and it just generates a file that's ready to go. This is a huge leap forward.
And the money side of the story? It is just wild. We are on a full-blown AI gold rush. OpenAI is now valued at $500 billion. And it's not just the giants. A brand new startup, Periodic Labs, just raised $300 million in a seed round. That is an unbelievable amount of cash, betting on what's next.
And you know, it's not a one-horse race anymore. These different models are starting to develop their own personalities, kinda. In a recent head-to-head, Claude 4.5 is actually pulling ahead on more human-like stuff, like reasoning, telling a good story, things that require context. Meanwhile, ChatGPT 5 is still the king of speed and just giving you a quick, efficient summary. The takeaway? The best AI is going to depend on what you need it to do.
This crazy powerful technology is also getting way more accessible. There's this new app called Byte-Sized, and it lets anyone build an app. You just describe what you want, like say an app that reminds you to put on sunscreen based on the day's UV index, and the AI literally builds it for you right there on your phone. No coding required. It's insane.
So this explosion of power is obviously incredible, but it has to lead you to a pretty critical question, right? When technology gets this powerful and this easy to use, what are we giving up? What are the trade-offs we're not seeing?
And that question leads us right into our second big topic, the price of convenience. This is where we look at that growing tension between cool, easy-to-use tech and our own privacy and control. It's a battleground where our data is the prize and the platforms are the ones writing the rulebook.
The IceBlock app is a perfect case study. It let people report sightings of immigration agents, kind of like how Waze users report speed traps. The developer argued it was free speech, for community safety. The government argued it put their agents in danger. In the end, after a lot of pressure, Apple just pulled the app. It's a stark reminder of the immense power these platforms have to decide what we get to see and say.
And the relationship between smaller companies and big tech is just so complicated. You have the CEO of WikiHow testifying in court, basically saying that even though Google's new AI is threatening to destroy her website's traffic, she still has to defend Google's ad business because it's the only thing keeping the lights on. I mean, talk about being caught between a rock and a hard place.
And these companies are increasingly making these privacy choices for us by default. Ring has a new feature called Search Party. Cool idea. It uses AI to scan neighborhood cameras for your lost dog. But it's turned on automatically. Your camera footage is part of the search unless you go in and turn it off. And Meta just announced they're going to start using your chats with their AI to target you with ads.
All of this leads to that creepy feeling that your phone is listening to your conversations. But Adam Mosseri, the head of Instagram, says it's not true. And you know why? Because they don't need to. They're already tracking everything you click, everything you like, everything you search for. The truth isn't that they're secretly listening, it's that they're openly watching your every digital move with terrifying accuracy.
So, this mix of AI power, data collection, and corporate strategy, it isn't just happening in the cloud. It's physically shaping the products we buy and hold in our hands. So how is all this stuff showing up in the actual hardware we use?
And that brings us to hardware's next big bet. We're seeing huge companies make these massive, expensive pivots because they're all trying to figure out what the next big thing we're all going to buy is. The ground is literally shifting under their feet.
Look no further than Apple. After these super expensive Vision Pro launched to kind of slow sales, they are dramatically changing course. Reports say they've scrapped plans for a cheaper headset and are now fast-tracking smart glasses, even aiming for a version without a display as early as next year. That is a major pivot away from immersive VR and towards something more everyday.
But Apple's competitors aren't walking away from headsets. Not yet anyway. Samsung is reportedly about to launch its own mixed reality device, the Galaxy XR, this month. It's still going to be expensive, around $2,000, but that's a lot cheaper than the Vision Pro. It just shows you how up in the air and competitive this new market really is.
And what about our smaller gadgets? Well, they're getting smarter, but also way more disposable. A recent teardown of the new AirPods Pro 3 by iFixit gave them a 0 out of 10 on repairability. A 0. They found the things are so packed with glue, you basically can't open them without destroying them. They are designed to be replaced, not repaired.
Okay, after all that big picture strategy and controversy, it's time to get a little more practical. How about we switch gears for a few quick updates and hidden tricks you can actually use?
This is our final section, your tech quick hits. We've got a quick and dirty TV buying guide, a secret Google Maps feature, and a new Amazon perk that you are definitely going to want to know about.
So, if you're looking for a new TV, CNET's latest roundup has some really clear winners. For the best picture quality without spending a fortune, they recommend the TCL QM8. If you want a great mid-range option, they point to the Roku Plus series. And for the best bang for your buck on a tight budget, the TCL 4 series is their top pick.
Okay, here's a fantastic little trick I bet you didn't know. In Google Maps, when you're navigating, you can just swipe left on the little banner that shows your next turn. Boom! It instantly brings up a list of all your upcoming directions. You can see what's ahead without having to zoom out or anything. It's a game changer for complex routes. Give it a try.
And finally, a great new feature for Amazon Prime members. You know that feeling when you place an order and then immediately remember you forgot something? Well, now there's an Add to Delivery button. It lets you add more stuff to an order you already placed as long as it hasn't shipped yet. No new order, no extra fees. It's about time.
And that really brings us full circle. We started with this idea of AI just wanting to please us, we saw its incredible power, and we touched on some of the hidden costs. So as this technology gets woven deeper and deeper into our apps, our devices, and our lives, I have to ask, are we finding the right balance here, or are we trading way too much control just for the sake of convenience? Let me know what you think down in the comments. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.